Hey guys, what's up? It's a Selective Fuzz back with another tutorial. This is a continuation of the previous two on old school breakbeat tricks and stuff. Um, so yeah, let's get started. We're starting up where we left off in video 2. So if you missed the first two, highly recommended you check them out. Uh, the links are gonna be in the description. So yeah, before I get started, I'm gonna teach you guys today how to do time stretches. Like really grainy, granular time stretches. You know, like the kind that you would hear in like old school, like Origin Unknown, tracks, stuff like that. Um, but well, first things, one thing that I forgot to do, right? I want this to be I want the NNXT to be mono and only play one note at the same time. So the way to do that is you select them all, you right click, and there's group selected zones. I already have them grouped, but you do group selected zones and then you bring the key polyphony down to 1, or I guess you can just do group mono, but just to be safe, I just like to do the key poly down to 1. And create a line mixer 62 because we're actually going to be, for the time stretching, using a different instrument, so we want it mixed. So, in order to do time stretches, and so we're going to start by creating an NN19. Now, there's a reason why we're using the NN19, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. Alright, the NNXT, okay, when you look in the ones, the controls that are controllable with the rotaries, it has mod wheel, external, it has all of these. But at no place does it have sample start, which is really key to what we're trying to do here. And I'll explain to you guys why that is. So here, see, under OSC, we have sample start. And you guys will see what I'm doing here. And just to be safe, I want to map this to the E3. So I'm going to go and set this to E3. So now it's only on one note. So now we're going to load up our sample. So remember, we're doing the cold sweat break. So I'm essentially copying what we have here. Remember, in the first one, the root is F, and it's tuned to 21. So I'm going to bring the tune up to 21. And here we're playing it with a C and it's on F, but I'm playing it with an E, so it's going to be on A. See how the E here is set to A. So I'm going to set the root to A3. Nope, A2. Heh. There we have it. So it's the exact same pitch as before. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to create a Maelstrom, and we're going to hold shift while we create it. Where are you, Maelstrom? Cool. Because we don't want it connected. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the NN19. I'm going to route this, map it only to E3 and down to E3. So it only receives the one note. Alright, so now I'm going to connect mod A to the gate, and cool. Now, why are you doing this, Fuzz? Well, check this out. So we've already got the beginning of our time stretch here. I'm going to connect the filter envelope to the level. Turn that up all the way. So now when you do that with the filter envelope, I'm just going to bring it so it's sustain up. Bring the release up a tiny little bit because it just sounds better. Just a tiny amount. But basically, by connecting the filter envelope to the level, you make it so that so that it gates. So next up, what we want to do in order for it to be a time stretch, because right now we just have a really fast stutter. In order for it to be a time stretch, we want to modulate the sample start as it plays. So I'm going to set mod B up to, there's tons of waveforms here, but what we want is this guy. Just a ramp up, simple ramp up, and let's put it to one shot, sync it. I want this to be like I want this time stretch to be 2 beats. So it's basically having the tempo. Halving the whatever. So I'm going to connect mod B up here. Now, see, there's no sample start over here in the back. So we got to do it. We got to do some tricky wiring here. So you plug it into rotary 1. And we're going to connect rotary 1 to, you guessed it, sample start. So now it's just a question of finding the sample start. Notice it's only going halfway. If I wanted to do the entire beat, I would turn this up all the way in. Now just to demonstrate, if I were to take this down to 8/4, now the sample start knob for some reason isn't like fully linear, but we're gonna keep this on 2/4, and I'm gonna bring the modulation input back down to like, I mean, it doesn't have to be super precise, but yeah. So we have it started on here. So now what we do is so what I did here is with the minimum, I made it so that it's the snare, so that it hits the snare. It's basically it's just a question of fine tuning. I actually happened to figure it out before doing this tutorial. To set the minimum at 76 and just fine tune with the rotary to see how it works out. And then, because I want it to only be the snare, see it's going past the snare. So I'm going to bring down the maximum like a bit. I think 104 works. So yeah, that's pretty much our time stretch here. So now you can so you can get it sounding however you want. And another thing you can do is mess around with the tuning. I think it sounds better a little bit lower. So Fuzz, what does this sound like in context? Well, I'm glad you asked. So here we have just the standard break. And we also did a couple reverses in the last tutorial. We did some stutters. And now, to bring it all together, yeah. So, anyway, I hope you guys found that tutorial useful. So, next one, I'm gonna show you guys how to process this so that it sounds nice and fat and punchy. You know, because right now it sounds kind of weak. You know, we were just getting some of the sound design out of the way, but we want this breakbeat to sound large. Or not, I mean, you might want this kind of thin, just the higher end layered into some like fat kicks and snares, you know? All depends on what you're trying to do. So, anyway, if you liked it, let me know, leave a comment, rate this video, you know, hit like or whatever, or thumbs it up, you know, that whole thing. Subscribe, definitely, if you like these videos. So yeah, alright guys, take it easy.